I think most of you know me, but I'm Amber, the dietitian with Hy-Vee. And the feature vegetable of the month is asparagus, and the feature fruit of the month is kiwi. So if you have your cards, you're going to get a bunch of asparagus and 2 kiwi to take home. And so if you have your card, if your name's one of them, we have 10 cards that have their names filled out. Just come in here afterwards, and I have your fruit and vegetable for you. But tonight I am doing a strawberry kiwi salsa that's great over grilled fish or chicken. Great for the summertime. I'm actually serving it with a tortilla chip. And it's this brand here that we sell in our health market. The food should taste good. And I think I've talked to you before about NuVal, but it's the nutrition rating system that we have at Hy-Vee. It goes from 1 to 100. The higher the number, the more nutritious the food is. And these are one of the highest scoring chips you'll find. They're at 42, which is a pretty darn high score. Most chips are between a 2 and a 20. So a 42 is a pretty awesome score for a chip because there's just not a lot. It's just pretty much corn, which I like. There's no preservatives or funky ingredients. And then the asparagus dish I did was a white bean, yellow pepper asparagus skillet. And the recipe actually called for quinoa, but I have found, because quinoa is so popular, I've brought quinoa before, and I think most people like it. It's gone pretty pricey lately, so I use millet instead. And millet, most people think of birdseed when they think of millet, but it's extremely nutritious, much like quinoa. Very similar nutritional profile that quinoa has. It's also gluten-free for people that can't have gluten. And I think it has a nice, almost a corn-like smell and texture and flavor to it. So it's really good, and you're in for a treat. So I did that one as well. It's a very easy to do recipe, and I'll have the recipes available as soon as I set these up here. I'll grab those for you. Kiwi is actually one of the most nutritious fruits you can eat. They don't even know why, to be honest. They can't even figure out the phytonutrients that are so cancer protective and that keep our cells healthy and protect against cell damage, but they are one of the healthiest fruits that you can possibly eat. And one thing you can do with the kiwi, grab one. A lot of people don't know how to peel them, but really if you just cut it in half and take a spoon and just eat it that way. That's really the easiest way to eat a kiwi if you're just going to eat the fruit. If you're going to dice it up for this, I would cut both ends off and then stand it up and then peel away the skin with your knife like so, and then just chop it up or slice it however you like. That's about the easiest way. If you can find an easier way, let me know. But that's kind of, but if you're just going to eat one, and the great thing is one of these is only around 25 calories to 50 calories depending on the size, but pretty low calorie snack and loaded with nutrition. And then asparagus too, very low calorie for a cup. I think it's about 25 calories in a cup of asparagus. So it can be very, very filling. Remember, half of what we eat should be what at dinner? Half of what we eat should be vegetables. Yes. Preferably the non-starchy kind, so corn, peas, potatoes do not count as our vegetable, they count as a starch. So half our plate should be vegetables, 1/4 protein, 1/4 starch. And honestly, I have a weight loss program that I work with people one-on-one, and the clients that follow this eating plan are losing weight like crazy. And the ones that aren't, that are battling because they don't like vegetables or they're hard, and I understand all the things that prevent them from getting on the table, but the ones that aren't are not losing any weight. So it's very interesting to me that just that one, that's the main change between the ones that are losing weight and the ones that are not is the vegetable consumption. So it really is the key. If you want to lose weight, you want to be healthier, you gotta increase your vegetables. You gotta listen to your mom. What she always told you. So I hope you like these salads. Does anyone have any questions?
How much do you charge for your one-on-one?
For a one-time session, it's $60, but the weight loss program is a lot more intensive than that. It involves 10 individual appointments with me, and it's $290, and that can be split to 4 payments of $72.50 using like a debit card. But keep in mind with that, you're also getting biometric screens at session 1 and 10. So I will do your cholesterol, your glucose, which I think you might be getting with this program as well. But yeah, I think it's just the individualized attention that people are, and the accountability, which is huge too. When you have to go see the dietitian and get on the scale, you can't really fudge that. So, any other questions about? Does anyone find find something that really works for them. I mean, because the thing with, you're all doing a great thing by being here and exercising. That's half the battle, and you're doing it. But unfortunate thing is when you exercise, the other half the battle is still nutrition. You can easily out-eat your exercise. So you want to make sure that you're fueling your body and not, kind of canceling out all the wonderful fun that you just had here.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I have a 4-year-old, and all she eats is fruit. And is there
All she eats is what?
fruit?
Fruit.
Any kind of fruit.
Yeah.
A lot of it.
Uh-huh.
Like she can eat 4 oranges in a session. Be
Uh-huh.
fine. Now, can you consume too much fruit? Is that okay for?
I mean,
Because I feel like it's better than fruit snacks or something like that. But
For sure, yes.
but
The only thing would be is if her bowels were changing.
oh, okay.
That would be the only, cause sometimes when you get too much fiber, you can actually, your body will actually rid yourself to some of the nutrients that you need.
Okay.
But you'd have to consume, I mean,
A lot.
a lot for that to even be possible. So I think it's wonderful. I would just keep encouraging that. I mean, still offering a variety of foods, and that's a great point to bring up, because I think oftentimes as parents we forget that division of responsibility. And a parent, for those of you that have kids in the home, a parent's job ideally is to provide the food, to provide structure. So when the food is available, where it's available, and what's available. And then the child determines how much to eat, which is hard as a parent, because I learned this before I had kids, and so it's so easy to say, oh, this is how it goes, and it's so easy. And then I have a 4 and a 2-year-old, so I can relate that it's
Yeah.
challenging to take a step back and not to force them to
Right.
finish their plate or to eat something. A 1-bite rule I think is effective with that, so you at least have to try it to make sure that you really do know if you like it. But allowing them, to decide if they don't like it, then that's okay, which is hard as a parent. But there's a really good book by Ellen Satter. She's a psychologist and a dietitian, and that's her whole kind of her whole motto. And she has a really good book called Your Child's Weight: Helping Without Harming. That's a really good one to look into. But I don't think that I would be too concerned about the fruit.
Another thing about children and hiding, a lot of children don't eat a lot of foods if it's multicolored and everything because it's overwhelming. So if you turn around and say, I want to play a game with you, and put a blindfold on them and ask them to take that first bite before they see what they're having, they'll be more likely to eat it because they're scared when they see an over-exaggeration
Yeah.
of foods. They don't like it. I've learned that from working at childcare. If we can separate our foods more, they eat it.
Yes.
And when it's food, like if you put a stew in front of them, they're like, because of all the stuff that's in it. But put a blindfold on them, then ask them to eat it. Then when they open, they'll go, oh, that was good, and they'll continue to
Eat it, yeah.
Good try.
Well, and social eating too, I feel like it's really good with kids, because they see their friend eating it, it's not just mom.
A problem that I have with vegetables is I'll go to the store and I'll get fresh vegetables and then they'll die on me within the first couple of days. Is frozen better than
Frozen are
canned?
just as bad, frozen are just as nutritious as fresh, because they lock in the freshness, they flash freeze them at their peak nutrition. So sometimes, like living in Kansas in the wintertime, frozen are actually better for you than fresh.
I'll be done.
So the key would be making sure you're getting ones that don't have all the added sauces and cheeses, and
Right.
then that tends to bring down the nutritional value. But and even canned, no salt added canned score the same on the Duval system. So that would be another option. But the salt really will bring down the Duval score.
But you said that the starchy ones are ones we should avoid.
Not avoid, just limit, because 1/4 your plate is starch, so you can have a potato, you can have corn, you can have peas, but it just ideally should be 1/4 of your plate and not, you wouldn't want to fill half your plate
With the
and then
baked
put a
potato.
starch. Yeah, you wouldn't want to do half a plate of potato, bread, and steak. That doesn't necessarily, that's not going to probably get you where you want to go.
So potatoes, corn, and peas.
Peas.
Okay.
And both sweet and white potato. They're all of those foods are excellent. They all score really high. They're just higher in starch. They have more calories.
I just discovered the Green Monster smoothie.
Yeah.
Can I substitute to drink that smoothie, and that could be my vegetable and fruit on my plate?
It's hard to know. Do you know the brand of that one by any chance? Is it Naked or is it?
It's Naked.
Naked. Okay.
Mhm.
That one's usually a pretty sometimes smoothies are
Right.
with fruit flavoring.
Mhm.
But that one actually is truly nutrient. I mean, it is a smoothie where they actually put. I mean, they'll
No
tell you
added
exactly
sugar.
what's in there. So
Right.
yeah, that can count. But keep in mind that when you eat foods, you're going to get so much more full than when
Okay.
you drink food. So that would be the only thing to be mindful of. If you find you're getting really hungry and needing more,
Mhm.
then you would maybe want to add some more raw vegetables because you can't really do too many raw vegetables.
Right.
I mean, you could, but it'd be really hard to.
Okay.
Really hard to.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Clap it up.
Okay.
You're right.